We'll be in good shape. All right, so welcome to our closing circle. Today it is Monday, March the 8th, and today we're going to look at some coding. And before we get started into our new app that we are going to explore, I wanted to highlight someone that is very special. And that person is a very special person, and their name is Ada Lovelace. And I know that you might not have ever heard of Ada before, but let me show you a quick picture here. So this is a picture of Ada. And she was actually born Augusta Ada Lovelace, and she was born in December 10th, 1815. So she was born, watch out, 200 years ago. And Ada is somebody who we like to say is the mother, one of the founding mothers of computer science. And what do I mean by that? Well, Ada worked with a scientist, and his name is, and I'll show you here, this is his name. His name is Charles Babbage. And 200 years ago, her and Charles worked together as a team, and they worked on something called the Analytical Machine. And this is what it is. Touch your nose if you guys see that machine right here on to the side. This right here is their analytical machine, and it's actually one of what we know now consider one of the earliest computers ever made. And what they did was that they designed a way to have a machine do math, and that's what this is. So Ada then went on and she started writing things called algorithms, which is now what we found out to be really code. So 200 years ago, you can see here, this is a real life sample of the code that she wrote for that machine. And she's actually one of the people that we can say that is not only one of the founding members of computer science, but also she kind of helped come up with the idea of what's called looping. So an idea of something repeating itself inside that written algorithm or piece of code that you write. So I just wanted to highlight Ada because March is Women's History Month. And Ada is somebody who I really admire because 200 years ago, girls were not very much celebrated for being in math and science, let alone going to school and being highly educated and going to college. It wasn't something that women could easily do. It was something 200 years ago that mostly only men could do. So 200 years ago, women couldn't vote, and they really weren't allowed to do much like going to school, other than just getting a basic education. So I will say that Ada was definitely ahead of her time, and she was an awesome leader. And so this month, I will say that we celebrate Ada and other female pioneers just like her. So because of the work that she did 200 years ago, then we have an app today that we are going to look at. And that app, if you haven't already downloaded it, it is located in your self-service portal, and it's named Scratch Junior. So it starts with the S. It looks like the little tiny orange kitty there. And when you open up Scratch Junior, I will tell you that it might ask you the first time when you're opening it, like, oh, hey, like, are you at home? Are you at school? And I will say that you can say you're at home or you're at school for this one. It's not really like, it'll still let you do what you need to do. Once you get to that point, then it's going to say, hey, you need to go home, because otherwise this one's like asking questions. So you can tap the home button here, and it takes you to what I like to call is like your library view. It shows you all of your projects that you've made in this coding app. And I will tell you that this app is very much kind of like being a Pixar animator. Touch your nose if you've ever seen Finding Nemo. Oh, yep, some of you. Touch your nose if you've ever seen Frozen. Oh, some of you have. Excellent. Touch your nose if you've ever seen a cartoon on TV or in the movie theater before. Touch your nose now. Oh, so many of you, right? All right, so if you touch your nose to any of that, then computer science was used. That means that somebody sat at a device and they coded those animations, those cartoons moving. Today, you get to become a cartoon animator yourself, just like working at Disney or Pixar, being your own Imagineer. So I'm going to show you some of those skills what they do, okay? So to begin a new project, you tap the plus sign. You probably already figured that out if you've already jumped into Explore. And when you do, it gives you, every time, it gives you the Scratch Junior Cat, okay? If you don't want the Scratch Junior Cat, what you do is you tap and hold on to the little cat, and what you get when you hold on to him, he wiggles and he gets an X. If you don't want him to be in your story that you're coding, you just tap the little red X and he disappears. Now you have a full blank slate and no actors. That's fine, because now if you tap the plus sign over here, you can design your own actors or pick your own actors that are over here. It gives you pre-made stickers, or if you choose the blank page up here and then tap the little paintbrush tool, you're going to be able to design your very own. So I like to usually, one of the first things I like to show kids, because it's kind of fun, is to make your own ocean or like little fish bowl. I think it's really fun to do. So here's what we're going to do. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw my own little tiny fish. So I'm going to select, make sure that when you are drawing like free loose drawing, that you select, it looks like a little wavy tail tool here, because that's going to let you draw like free style lines. So I'm going to draw my own little fish here. And since I've closed the item, I can't, like, none of the paint can spill out. I'm going to next come over here and tap the paint bucket. And I still have that same color selected, so I'm going to fill it in. And then I'm going to come back up here and tap the little wavy line. And I'm going to draw in a couple of details here. So I'm going to give it like a little fin there, maybe some stripes on that. And then let's go in and give it an eye. There we go. All right, and let's give it a mouth. And I'm going to fill in that mouth with the paint bucket too, just so it's there. Perfect. All right, so I have my red fish. And if I want to name it, I can tap up here. I can even call it Reddy, Red Fish, whatever I want to call it. I'm just going to call my fish Red. All right, tap my check mark up at the top. And now it has saved my fish. And now I can move my fish wherever I want it to go. But you know what? This fish needs a background. Swimming on a piece of white paper is one thing, but to have your fish swim all over, ooh, that's a lot more interesting. So we need to build over here. I love this part. Over here is kind of like your story mountain. You can have a beginning, a middle, and an end. So right now we're building in the beginning part of our story, but there's no background. So if I tap up here and tap where it looks like a painting, when I tap that color painting, I can choose any kind of background I want. So if I want to go ahead and choose this one right here, I can, since I'm like, ooh, I want to do an underwater scene. Or, you know what, if I want to draw my own underwater scene, I can. So just like how you drew your own, you can do that, your own character, you can also do that. So I tap it and then tap the little paintbrush. To save time though for us, I'm going to go ahead and just tap for this one. I'm going to tap the preset underwater picture right here. And then I'm going to tap the check mark. Check mark means I'm done choosing, okay? So I'm going to tap that check mark. And now I've got my fish, and I've got Red here, and Red is ready to go. I need to now program him. So now I'm going to do the computer science. I'm going to write the code, okay? So all down here at the bottom is the algorithm for this actor. And I know which actor I'm doing because do you guys see, thumbs up, do you see like the little pencil ghosty view of my little Red right here? Yeah. So this is his work area. This is where I build his code at down here to make him move in the movie up above in the work area. All right. So all of these buttons right here, these are all different kinds of triggering blocks. These are all different kinds of coding blocks. All right. So we're going to go through and talk a little bit about all those different kinds of blocks. So I'm going to start with the yellow kinds of blocks because those are really important. These are called the triggering blocks. These are how you make your code start happening. Okay. I prefer to start, and this is just really my preference as a coder, I like always starting with one of the green flag for all of my code so that when I want everything to start, it's like, and action. When you say action, all I have to do is tap my green flag up here, and it just makes everybody go. So I really like using the green flag. That's just me as a coder. But you can, instead of using the green flag, if you want your code to start playing, whether you're writing it to go up and down and loop-de-loop, you can make it the second one. This one is to start on a tap, so that if you just tap your screen, it starts going, okay? Or on the next one right here, this one is start on a bump, so that when the character is touched by another character, then it starts. So it's kind of like, ooh, if you had it poke into the octopus, maybe the octopus sprays something, so then you can have like that one react to it. I like those. Those are kind of fun reaction ones. And then I will tell you that this one is start on message, the one with the little envelope that's open. And then the one that's the envelope that looks like it's speedy, that one is the send a message. This one sends a message of the specified color. So this one takes a little bit more kind of specific language to it, but you can, that one's always, you can figure it out. All right, so next we're going to do the blue. So the blue blocks of code are the motion blocks. This is the jam. This is how you get it to move and swim around. So let's get red to swim. Ready? So I want red to go across, and notice how the arrows, I don't want him to go this way. I want him to go to the left. So I need to grab a part of the code right here, block, to go to the left. And I don't want him to go just one jump, okay? I want him to go, let's have him go five jumps, okay? And then once red goes 5 jumps, you know what? He should probably go up, right? Like he needs to swim around. He's a happy little fish. So let's have him go up. So now I'm going to grab the up block. And you'll notice this is kind of like Legos, right? This kind of coding language, just like how you've been doing Code Spark, this is block language. So this is teaching you how to code using a block language, all right? So now I've got him going over 5 and up 1. All right, let's see red do this. Are you guys ready? All right, ready? Let's count down. 3, 2, 1. I'm going to tap the green flag up here at the top and watch him. Here we go. Zoop, zoop. Did you guys see it? He moved. All right, hold on. I'm going to reset it so you can see it again. Ready? Next to the green flag is the reset button. So I'm going to touch that little reset button. Ready? I'm going to touch the green flag. Watch him. He went over and he went up. Whoa, he did it. But you know what? He's a fish. He should be able to do this over and over and over again, right? So that's where the loop comes in. And I love this idea of a loop. So let me reset them. And the next set of series of commands I'm going to show you is the orange group, okay? The orange group, these are the control blocks. And these control blocks kind of help you as a coder to work smarter, not harder, okay? So the first one right here with the little timer does exactly that. It pauses your code for an amount of time, and then it keeps going, and it works by seconds, okay? Do I want him to pause? No, I want him to keep going. I want him to keep looping, just like what Ada Lovelace invented, okay? The next is the little stop hand. That's the stop sign. So I want all of him to stop. Do I want my fish to stop? No, I don't want him to stop. Then the next one is the speed. Do I want him to go really, 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 really fast? No. The next one is what I want. This is the repeat control block. This is where you get to make the loop. Watch what happens. So I'm going to drag the loop down, and I'm going to make a nice little sandwich. I'm going to put what I want red to do, but I want him to do it. It says 4 times. Oh, no, let's be silly. Let's make him do that, not 66 times, just 6 times, okay? But you know what? He needs to kind of spin a little bit. So maybe let's get him to spin. Let's get him to do that kind of a spin too, okay? All right, so now he's going to go over 5, up 1, turn around. And he's going to do each of that 6 times because now we have a loop in there. All right, let's check it out. Ready? Let's tap our flag. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Look at him. He's just going and going and going. So now, now we have red, the fish, swimming around. Could we make it even faster and crazier and do a whole lot more? Oh, yes, we could. Oh, yes, we could. But for our sake of our time, I just wanted to show you just a little bit of what those blocks are, because you're going to be able to make your own code, okay? Next up, I want to show you just what the other blocks do, because these are helpful in helping you write your codes, okay? So the purple blocks of code, these are the look blocks, okay? So this one right here where it says hi, this one shows a specific message in a speech bubble above the character. So if you want your character to have a speech bubble, you can put that in. The next ones are all about like sizes of your character. So if you want it to look like he's walking away or walking forward, you can have him grow bigger, you can have your character shrink, or you can have it reset to the original size, okay? So bigger, smaller, reset, okay? Then the next one right here is to have him hide. So like if you had like an animal or someone going into a cave and you wanted them to disappear, you could have them hide. And then look how already this next one is to reappear. This one's to show, all right? So that's the purple blocks. But no cartoon is an awesome cartoon without some sound, right? We don't watch silent cartoons. So here's how you can add some sound to your animation. So you can tap the little microphone here and you can do a sound recording, okay? And you play it. Make sure that if your iPad asks, do you want to allow access to your mic? Say, I allow, all right? And then it will let you record it, and then you'll be able to drag that piece of brick that you made up here. It's kind of like a Lego brick, but it's a coding brick block. You'll be able to grab it and put it into your sequence of your code. Now, sequence is really important, and we've talked about this when we were doing our hour of code and we were coding back in November, December. Whatever order it is down here is the order that it's going to happen, okay? And that's really important to make sure that you're being mindful of. I'm going to show you the last set of bricks, and those are the red set of bricks. These are called the ending blocks, okay? So the ending blocks, there are 3 different kinds, I don't have a third one here to show you yet, and I'll show you why. So the first red brick here available, a block, is just the end. It indicates that it's the end of the script, the end that actor can do. Then this one's interesting. If you wanted one of your characters just to infinitely, like without ever stopping, to keep going, like maybe you've designed an animation where it's a pinwheel and it's constantly blowing and spinning in the wind and you never want it to stop, well then you can use this one right here, this brick, because it will tell your code to never stop. Never stop, never stop, never stop. It'll just keep going, okay? Which is kind of neat. The third kind of red brick, and I don't have it yet, is the go to another page. And that one's really important because you might want your animation to continue on in your story. So maybe here's red and he's swimming along, but then I want something to happen next. I have the beginning of the story right here, but now I can add another scene. So if I tap the plus sign over here, now I have a new scene. So here's the beginning, but here's the middle. I don't want this guy again. So I'm going to tap and hold him, get rid of him, and then when I tap the plus sign on the side, I can add red, but this time I'm going to also add another character, my shark. So I'm going to add red again, check mark for red, plus the sign again. I'm going to add my friendly shark friend right there, check mark my shark. I drew the shark earlier, by the way. But now I'm going to have these two meet each other. But you know what? Do I have a background? Nope. So I still have to add my background up here. And then I'm going to go back and add it, check mark to add. And now I can write the code. But you notice the code down here has for the shark. It's because he is selected right now. If I tap red, let me tap red, now his code is down here. So now I have to write 2 different kinds of code. And notice how with the red tools that are here, this is where I can select to either go back to different kinds of scenes as well, okay? All right, this is going to be really exciting. I can't wait to see what you have. And tomorrow at our closing circle, I'm going to take questions that you have while you're exploring this app. And my goal is that by Wednesday or Thursday, we're going to have enough, ready? I hope that you have built enough so that you can share your screen in breakout rooms so that then you can watch each other's animations. Okay? And I think that would be super, super cool. But we kind of have to do some fun work in between. Does that sound okay? So this is something fun that it's totally optional, but it uses your mathematical thinking, it uses your reading and writing thinking, it uses all of your skills. But if you get done with your homework throughout the day, this is something then that you can work on to grow your brain and then be able to share your friends. Okay? So I hope that helps. Let me go ahead and pause the recording.